Charles Haley. You're listening to Nothing But Niners.
This is Kyle Juszczyk, and you're listening to Nothing But Niners.
So now they've got to start from deep in their end of the field, and Garrison Hearst takes advantage of it. He takes the handoff, sweeps to his right, gets to the 20. He's in the 30, needs to cut in. He comes back up the right sideline, breaks a hard tackle, comes down to the 30. He's down to the 20. He's down to the 10. He's down to the 5. He's into the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown! 49ers! 96-yard run from scrimmage. Garrison Hearst breaking tackle after tackle, sweeps down the sideline. Throws off bodies like clothes after a marathon.
Young, back to throw. In trouble, he's going to be sacked. No, gets away. He runs, gets away again, goes to the 40, gets away again, to the 35, cuts back at the 30, to the 20, the 50, the 10. He died. Touchdown, 49ers.
Third down, Alex takes the snap. Alex looking down in post, and it's good. Touchdown! Touchdown, 49ers!
It is second down. Ryan takes the snap, throws the slant to the left side. It's Russell, intercepted! The 49ers pick it, and Navarro Bowman is redemption! Navarro Bowman running it all the way for the touchdown! No greater redemption!
The San Francisco 49ers, we can do whatever we want.
Click, click, boom. What's going on, faithfuls? It's your boy Mike from the Nothing But Niners crew. And guys, we are back, man. Back to bring you guys another fun-filled episode. Today we're going to be going over what did they say, man. This is going to be assessing the pressers again. But this is going to be a lot of fun, man. I'm excited. Hopefully you guys are too. Listen, let me run through the formalities. And let's get down to business, all right? If this is your first time here on the YouTube page, please do us a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know exactly when we are going live. Give us a follow on some of our social media platforms. We have Snapchat and X. Those handles are Nothing But 9 ERS. And then give us a follow on Instagram. There it is. Instagram and Twitch and Facebook. Those handles are Nothing But 9 ERS. And last but certainly not least, guys, head on over to Patreon. Patreon.com/NB9ERS. The place to be, man. When I really got to get something off my chest, when I got to say something, I just don't know if I want it to go all the way public. I take it over there to the Patreon street. So make sure you guys come and check me out over there, okay? Patreon.com/NB9ERS. If you guys are on YouTube a lot, man, we have some items over there in the store. There's a store tab if you go to our page. So you go to youtube.com/NothingButNiners, and then there's actually a store where you guys can get some merch, all right? I'm going to try to get these back up there, the Birth of the Dynasty joints that we made years ago, honoring that play to Dwight Clark. You know, the Niners kickoff to the Super Bowl run really is what it was all about, all right? But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and jump into this because I am ready to enjoy this show, okay? I am right-clicking on everything for some reason, and I don't know why, all right? It's that time of year, guys, all right? We are officially at minicamp. The team is reported. Everyone's out there. They're having a good time. A lot of people are talking. It is the time of year where Kyle Shanahan says we shouldn't be recording stats from practice. And it's like, oh, man, here comes the rhetoric again. But you know what that tells me, man? That got me excited. That tells me football is back. Huh? Ladies and gentlemen, football is back. 2025, it's officially here. It is officially here, man. So I'm juiced up. I'm excited, man. Getting to hear from Kyle Shanahan, getting to hear from some of the captains of the team, man. It's interesting with who they select to speak at these things, man. I pay attention to that kind of stuff. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to go through 3 of the different pressers, man. I mean, I'm not going to touch on any of the hearsay and all that stuff. I'll say that for the daytime show, for the daytime shows with myself, with Wayne and all that. But tonight we're going to break down a couple of pressers here. Shout out to everybody in the chat already. I see you guys. I know I got the little box down there. You guys let me know what you think of that. All right. I'll leave that little box on the whole time. If you guys get annoyed with it, I can turn it off. It's whatever you guys want to do, okay? But if you prefer me to pop the messages up the old way, let me know. But I think that box down there in the corner, it's kind of cool. It's all right. It's all right. So let me know what you guys think about it, okay? And then we'll play around with it, all right? I see Kirion in the building. What's going on? Blackbeard, Callie is in the building. Daniel's in the building, man. Shout out to you guys, man, the longtime supporters. And the rest of you guys that are out there just watching or have this playing in the background, I respect and salute you guys as well, all right? But let's go ahead and jump right into it. I don't want to waste any more time. We're going to hear from 2 players right now. Boats is in the building, too. I see you. We're going to hear from 2 players right now to start this thing off with. It's going to be Fred Warner and George Kittle. All right, so without any further ado, Let's make it do what it do. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take this banner off, and that way you guys can actually watch with the watch with the captions on. Okay, let me turn the captions on. Everything is a right click for some reason. Why am I right clicking on everything? Close captions on. All right, here we go. The issue is that they put the captions at the bottom. So let me change this banner or this background. Let's just take it all the way off. All right, there we go. Blackout, 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 blackout. All right, here we go. Bobo was in the building. I see you. E Nice is in the building. What's going on, man? All right, here we go.
Hello, all.
If you guys hear any music in the background, my wife has been in the room having a complete jam session for like the last hour. So I'm going to go on mute when I'm not talking to avoid trying to get flagged. But she is having the time of her life in this room. I have no idea what I'm going to walk into after this. But, yeah. So let's go. All right, let's have some fun.
Worried about the contract situation working itself out the last time we talked to you, but how nice is it to kind of have the things squared away, not just for you, but for some of the other guys?
Yeah, no, I mean, super nice. I'm so grateful, obviously, to everyone involved, the whole York family and John, Kyle, everyone involved. It was pretty seamless, and happy for, George and Brock to get their stuff done too. And so everybody's locked in, just trying to get better every single day. And obviously we know what we got ahead of us and just taking it one day at a time.
Those contracts were done kind of un-49er-like. Usually it's right before the start of training camp or in training camp. Did you three guys at all talk about, and with your representation, about putting a priority on getting it done early in the offseason?
No, we didn't come together and have some sort of formal meeting about it. It just I guess worked out that way. And every situation is different, It might have not been as 49er like you mentioned, but I mean, you talk about these deals that are getting done and, a lot of money being on the line. Some things take longer than others, and luckily we were just able to get it done in timely fashion this time around.
Kyle was just talking about a heightened energy as opposed to last year when you guys came back in OTAs. Have you also felt that?
Yeah. I can't exactly remember how last OTAs went. It seems like forever ago, but I can speak to this time around. Obviously, having everybody here, being a part of all three phases, and being out there now, just getting better. That's the goal every single day. Is just how can you get better in little ways, in everything that you do, right? And so you do that every single day, and then we'll have the product that we want when the time comes.
Your energy getting after guys on the sideline is already at a level?
Absolutely. That's all I got to be said.
That you're focused on this year?
Everyone. It's like, I think every day it's different, right? Like you go into a day and it might be one guy that needs a little, just a nice little push to him, right? Or see things on film that somebody needs to work on. And you love to see guys who go out there and they correct those mistakes from the day before. And ultimately it's just about having a competitive atmosphere out there on the field, right? Like it's about both sides getting each other better. And if we do that, then it doesn't matter who we play when the season comes, because we done already competed against the best.
Just arrived, but any observations on the rookies, especially Nick Martin?
Yeah, I've loved everything that Nick's been about since he's arrived. I mean, heard the whole story about how he said he had my jersey before coming on the team, and then with some of those situations, guys don't want to seem like they're, the whole too cool thing. I don't know what it is. Like, you just don't want an older player to think that you'd think that they're not like, they're just like little bro or something. But he hasn't. He's come in and he's asked me every single question known to man of like, Fred, like, how are you doing this? Like, what are you doing after practice? What are you doing after the lift? And wanting to be a part of those things and not being afraid to ask those questions, right? So, I mean, I've seen the athletic ability flash already on the field in the way that he closes. Let
me just interpret. Fred is the consummate professional, right? Like, this guy is good. He is really good. What he's trying to say is, you hear about the young guys, the rookies and all that, and it's not weird for a rookie to look up to an all-pro player at their profession and be like, man, you're so good, you're so good. Fred was like kind of stumbling for words here. It's like you don't want to come in and seem like they're lil bro or anything like that. What he wanted to say was, the rookies come in and don't want to make it seem like they're dick riding. Now that is a term, it's an expression like it's not a pausable thing, right? It's not like that, but the expression is like they don't want to seem like they're on your jock, you know, and so that's why he's saying this the way that he's saying it. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing. He's saying that the guys, he doesn't even mind asking Fred the questions, you know, and that Fred is embracing and teaching. So I like
question on the man of like Fred, like how something, but he hasn't. You'd think that they're not like, you know, they're just like little bro or something, but he hasn't. He's come in and he's asked me every single question on the man of like Fred, like
hold on, I didn't go back far enough. My bad.
To think that you think cool thing. I don't know what it is. Like, you know, you just like they're, you know, the whole too cool thing. I don't know what it is. Like, you know, you just like before coming on the team, and then loved everything that Nick's been about since he's arrived. I mean, you know, heard the whole story about how he said he had my jersey before coming on the team, and then with some of those situations, guys don't want to seem like they're, you know, the whole too cool thing. I don't know what it is. Like, you know, you just don't want an older player to think that you'd think that they're not like, you know, they're just like little bro or something. But he hasn't. He's come in and he's asked me every single question on the man of like, Fred, like, how are you doing this? Like, what are you doing after practice? What are you doing after the lift? And wanting to be a part of those things and not being afraid to ask those questions, right? So, I mean, I've seen the athletic ability flash already on the field in the way that he closes space really quickly, and he already has the great mindset of wanting to learn. So, you know, I'm really happy with where he's at.
Salah back.
So crucial. I can't even speak enough to how much Coach Salah has meant to our group, just obviously in the past, and then having him back now, and just a calmness it brings to some of, you know, to the players, especially me being here, knowing what it's supposed to look like, and a guy who's been there and you know, done it at a high level. Not to say it's not speaking badly on anybody that's been here in the past, but it's just speaking to how much respect and admiration that I have for him and that we have for him as a defensive coordinator and a coach for our team. So yeah, it's been great already just in the short time that he's been back.
Questions for you. One, when it came to the contract, you didn't seem like you made a big deal about wanting that contract to be done in any type of swift way, but then to have a franchise do that for you that fast. How much did that make the franchise, if any, add to how much you feel that you care for this franchise and care to be a part of this franchise? But then the other question I have is, I'll wait, let you answer.
Okay, perfect. No, I mean, it honestly does mean the world. I said it when I signed my deal, you know, just with some of the media stuff I was doing, that, you know, when I got drafted here in 2018, it was truly a dream come true. It was the exact spot that I wanted to be at, because I knew that they had a vision for me as a young player who had never even played stack off the ball linebacker and was so raw at the time, you know, and just being able to fulfill my dream as being an NFL player, being a 49er. And I truly feel that same exact way to this day. You know, signing this deal, it still is a dream to me. You know, I'm going into year 8 and have had a lot of success in this league, but I don't take any day for granted. You know, the fact that I was able to sign this sort of deal again, and, you know, feed my family, right, take care of my people, it's like, it's unbelievable, right? And so none of that's taken for granted. And I feel like if you take care of your business on and off the field, that they reward that. They've shown that over and over again.
All right. So this was a great question. Fred Warner did not answer the question, just so y'all are clear. She said, you didn't make it a big deal, and did it make you appreciate the franchise more that they got it done early? He didn't answer the question, but that's not why I paused this. Fred Warner, George Kittle, and Brock Purdy all got paid, and to my knowledge, and I don't know because I don't track this kind of stuff. I don't care to track this kind of stuff, but they didn't remove 49ers from their profiles. They didn't demand trades, right? They didn't go out and just, you know, start taking pictures with other head coaches and shit like that, right? They didn't like any of the jersey swap photos or anything like that. They didn't pretend like I don't want to talk to them and any of that stuff, right? That's crucial. So 49ers, I've been talking all offseason about this black cloud over the team. Some people take that as me saying that that Kyle Shanahan is the black cloud. No, I think there was a black cloud over Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch and this 49ers organization. Not that they are the individual black clouds, but there's a cloud over them. And so if you want to go out and you want to change the perception, you want to change the mindset, right? All these players, people are so mad at players for requesting trades and doing all this extra stuff in the media and all that, right? They didn't get signed until damn near kickoff of week 1. Nick Bosa didn't sign his rookie deal until like 2 days before week 1, right? Like, you can't have it both ways as a fan base. We can't say that we hate when players, I'm about to put my foot in my mouth, right? We can't sit there and say that we hate when players demand trades. If they don't want to be here, fuck them and blah, 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 blah. No, how about the organization treat them like they want them here? How about the organization pay these guys ahead of time so they're not stressed and worried heading into the season? How about the organization take care of the players in the middle of the current season instead of waiting for the offseason to come and they're about to take the field without a new deal? How about that, right? You can't have it both ways. These players all throw these temper tantrums and do this public negotiation crap that we all hate. All of us hate it. No one appreciates it. And we try to write it off as, oh, it's just the way that they negotiate in 2020, right? It's just the way they negotiate in 2023. It's just the way they negotiate in 2025, right? All of us hate it. The team hates it. The players hate it. The fans hate it, right? But these three gentlemen, Brock, George, and Fred, all got their deals done very early. No drama necessary. No drama necessary. When George Kittle first signed his deal and he had his presser, he said, oh, man, it feels good to be a part of a offseason where there's no drama. And no shit, he started paying everybody. They paid Deommodore Lenoir last year. You know what I'm saying? They locked him up early as hell. You see the difference that it can make? 49ers, I'm talking to them. Like the organization finally did the right thing. Not the players. The organization finally did the right thing. So I want to give praise where it's due. Kudos to the 49ers for finally getting it done right. You want to make that black cloud a gray cloud? You want to turn it into blue skies and white clouds? You got to start like this. This is how you do it. You get these guys done early. Make it so that we don't have to stress heading into the final year of our deal. You understand what I'm saying? You can't keep stringing these guys along and expecting them to just sit there and keep just laying over and taking it. So kudos to the organization. Kudos to the players. Start doing shit the right way. And all of a sudden, you'll have people not afraid to come and negotiate with you. You have people, some free agents that might want to come here now all of a sudden. Oh, the Niners take care of their guys, and they got them early. Welcome to the club, man. Welcome to the damn club. All right, I'm off my pedestal.
When it comes to the younger guys, now that you've had a little bit of time, I'm assuming, to spend with them, anybody in particular kind of really coming and like bugging you and bothering you, trying to pick your brain, like more so than anyone else?
Yeah, I mean, I think Nick has done. I mean, honestly, like I was just saying, like he's truly, been seeking out just that information from me and wanting to get to know every little bit of everything. And I think I'll speak to Michael as well. Being around him a bunch so far, he's made of the exact right stuff too. You know, he's telling me, he's like, man, I just want to play with great effort. Like that's the thing that he's talking to me about. Like, man, I just want to run to the ball. And it's like, as a young player who has seen a lot of success over at a SEC school like Georgia, and like you're coming onto a team as a first-round draft pick, 11th overall, and you're talking about running to the football, it's like you don't see that very often. So that just tells me that we got the right kind of guys in the building, right? That we're drafting the guys that are going to see a lot of success because of what they're made of.
Talking to Tatum Bethune and kind of helping him out a little bit. What does he need to do as a young player to take that next step?
I think he just needs to continue on the track that he's on. Honestly, I think he's been doing a fantastic job. You know, I'm so happy for him and the way that he's put in the work, to continue to be the player that he's progressing into. He flashed last season as an undrafted free agent. These guys come in as undrafted guys, and there's low expectations. But when you come in and you flash and you're sticking people when the pads come on, like and your smart cerebral processing ability to even play Mike in this defense, it means a lot. And so for him, I've seen the progression not only just on the field and with the schematics of everything, but in his body, like the way that he's moving, the way that he looks. I think for him, it's just continuing to just keep doing what he's doing.
Rally up at all as the veterans to talk
to all the guys about being here for the voluntary phase, or did everybody just make that decision on their own? Kyle said he stressed it at the end of the last meeting of the year, but as veterans, did you guys get, behind the scenes talk, hey, you're going to be there, right? Or do you just let them make the call?
No, honestly, we didn't. I don't think we even had to do all that. I think Kyle, you hit it on the head. I think Kyle made a point of that at the end of last season where he said how important it was for guys to be back for this phase because of how last season went and what we knew we were going to be getting ourselves into going in this year with a whole new group, a lot of young players, the importance of guys being back. And so we all just made that decision on our own to be back here.
Your first two coordinators, him and D'Amico, either played or coached linebackers or both. But is there some extra value in having a guy who was a linebacker and kind of sees the game holistically? Again, nothing against the two that followed, but just sees the game holistically like you do in terms of being able to communicate with them.
Yeah, I mean, you want defense coordinators that are linebacker guys. You know what I'm saying? They obviously going to put the linebackers in positions to make plays. But the great thing about Solomon is he's been able to go off and obviously run the show as the head coach somewhere else and evolve the scheme, right? Like you talk about us running the same system. I've been in the same exact system for 7 years. And, there's little nuance changes that happen within every year. But, like, for him to bring in now that system and the evolution of it all, obviously not going over X's and O's of it all, but just the evolution part of it, knowing that teams are trying to attack us in certain ways, how do you combat that, right? And so you just kind of learn through those little things and then ultimately just putting it into play on the field.
How does that feel? I mean, does it feel like a lot that you're taking on that's new?
I mean, a lot of similarities, but also I haven't had to learn anything new for so long. So, like, even if there is, like, small change.
Excuse me, bitch.
This is the clip I saw. This is the clip I saw, and this is the context that I need right here. I'm going to rewind this again. I did not like that at all. Let me play it again in case y'all missed it. This is important, and I can't wait to hear him elaborate because hold on.
Feel like a lot that you're taking on that's new?
I mean, a lot of similarities, but also I haven't had to learn anything new for so long. So, like, even if there is, like, small changes in that I haven't been accustomed to, it's like, oh, okay, like, this is sort of refreshing having to learn something for the first time, right?
What does that mean? Fred Warner's been with this team for 7 years, and he said he hasn't had to learn anything new. They just, here's the playbook and go. You want to know why the defense got worse and worse? What is he saying? What is this not a big deal to anybody other than me? You haven't had to learn anything new at all since D'Amico left? We've been through 2 other coordinators. 2. And they brought nothing new to the table. Just come in and go through the motions. No big deal at all. Well, you guys know the playbook. You're going to do what they did. Just you tell me how it works. I don't know. I know I'm the defensive coordinator, but I don't really have nothing to add here. You learned nothing new the last 2 seasons? That can't be real. Well, first, okay, credit where credit's due. Kudos to Saleh and coming in here and changing that shit. Right? Okay, cool. Thank you. That's a positive. Separate that now. Why was Kyle Shanahan allowing that to happen for the last 2 seasons? No nuances? Nothing at all? The lack of defensive adjustments that we saw every single game that Wilks was here, every single game that Sorensen was here, now we get it. They didn't have to do anything. He said in the answer before this one that Saleh was teaching them about how teams are going to attack our defense. It's been the same scheme, so this is how they attack us and this is how we take it away. What the fuck were the other 2 defensive coordinators doing? This is how they attack us. Oh, well? What is happening? Okay, maybe it's just me. It's fine. Y'all cool with it?
I mean, does it feel like a lot that you're taking on that's new?
I mean, lot of similarities, but also I haven't had to learn anything new for so long. So like, even if there is like small changes in that I haven't been accustomed to, it's like, oh, okay, like this is sort of refreshing having to learn something for the first time, right?
Countless guys over the years have talked about Kyle's honesty, and just like, even if it hurts, they appreciate that he's going to be candid with them. Can you share something that may, that you feel comfortable sharing publicly, where he was just honest and blunt with you, and it was, it's like, it actually helps to hear that?
Man, there's too many times to count.
This is a good question.
But
I like
one that sticks out of my mind clear as day was back in 2021. I mean, as you guys know, that wasn't a great year for me. That was coming off of my first All-Pro year in 2020, and we were on the road, I think, playing against Chicago in a gotta-have-it game. I think we had dropped three games in a row, and we needed that game in Chicago, and luckily we pulled it off. But I don't think it was one of my better games. And I think after that game, we had like a walkthrough practice that following Wednesday when we usually don't have a walkthrough practice. And then he came up to me. He's like, "You realize why we have that walkthrough practice, right?" He's like, "That's because of you. Like, you look tired on film." And I'm like, God damn, like, all right, well, I got it.
Oh, shit. Imagine the whole team having to do a practice because one person looked tired on film. Kyle, shit, hold up. Okay, that's my coach. That's my coach. That's my coach. Because what do you say in that situation if you Fred Warner?
Excuse
you like,
me, bitch.
Wait, what? We did that because of me? Because I look tired on film?
He came up to me. He's like, "You realize why we have that walkthrough practice, right?" He's like, "That's because of you. Like, you look tired on film." And I'm like, God damn, like, all right, well, I gotta get my stuff going. Like, that's the worst feeling in the world when you said that, when the head coach telling you look tired on film. So, these are little things that you learn early on that you make sure that never happens again. Yeah.
On that, has it made you, when you're talking to your teammates, be a little more honest and blunt, less concerned about film?
Yeah, you gotta approach different guys differently, right? I think some guys, they can take some of that harsh criticism and kick in the butt, but some guys you got to love them up more and give them that pat on the back of telling them that they're doing a good job. So you kind of got to get a feel for your teammates, and that comes through just that connection, chemistry of just getting to know somebody on a day-to-day basis.
Egg, grocery, and gas prices are...
No. We're not doing no ads right now. What? Stop that. No. Sorry. Hold on, guys. We'll get right back to it. Let me let this ad finish playing. All right. Okay, here we go. We back. Oh, that's why, because it was a swap. All right, so that's the end of the Fred Warner presser. Okay, cool. A lot of positivity there. A lot of positivity. Love it. Love hearing it. The one negative, though, nothing new to your defense. The leader of the defense, the quarterback of the defense, the guy who was calling out everybody's responsibilities on defense said, "I didn't have to learn anything new." Oh, they're lucky I'm not a writer. They are lucky I'm not doing articles. This would be a long-ass think piece. That is insane. But it's all good. I'm going to let it go. I'm over it now. Let's hear from George Kittle because I don't want this to be too long of a night. And I got two other pressers that I wanted to get to. We'll see how. Maybe I have to break it up and do one tomorrow or something. I don't know. All right, but let's go ahead and hear from George Kittle now.
Howdy, what's up, guys? Oh,
how are the vibes?
moving question. Okay. What's up?
It seems like the vibes are high right now. It seemed like it was a lot of energy out there. Is it been that way, or is that just normal when it comes to being together and practicing OTAs?
Combination of both. I would say it's pretty normal. If you went to like all 32 teams across the league, spring football is really fun because it's 4 days of work and it's a 3-day weekend usually for most teams, and there's no game on the weekend. So you don't have like the pressure of preparing for a game, battling through injuries, learning your the plays for the week. So like that takes a lot of stress and pressure off it. So guys are just kind of naturally in a good mood and they're all excited for the year. I think it was Will Compton said that, at this point in the year, everyone's like, training and practicing for a Super Bowl, and everyone has that mindset. And then the season reality hits sometimes, and so that changes it. But I will say, one of the cool things about being in the building right now is that I think 99% of us are here. And so when you have all your best players are here, kind of setting the tone, setting an example, specifically because we have so many new guys, whether it's free agents, whether it's young guys, rookies. We're trying to, get them into that same mindset as that we have established, and it's something that we have to reestablish every single year. So the fact that we're all here having a good time, the vibes are high. I would say they're immaculate, and guys are practicing well, guys are competing. Jawan's still on fire, which is really fun to see. But the boys are feeling it.
Last season that you wanted to be a Niner for life.
I did.
How much of kind of a relief was it to have that done and know that that's settled for you for the next several years?
It's awesome. This is a place, that drafted me. I love being here. I love this franchise. I love the people that are involved with it. I have to say I'm probably one of the few, players in the league that have only had 2 coaches since college and the NFL. One in college, one in the NFL. So just to have that that structure is awesome. Having to learn a whole bunch of new stuff all the time, even though Kyle likes to switch up his playbook once in a while. But just being in this building, and just all the people that have been in it, from the equipment staff to the cooks, it's just there's so many good people in this building, and just being able to be here and kind of become me and grow up has been really awesome. So be able to finish out my let's not say finish. Let's just say continue my career here for several more years. I'm very excited about it, and I'm beyond happy and
good
beyond
correction.
blessed.
Last time that you went through this, it went all the way to training camp, and
It was so fun.
Yes. You're done. You're taken care of. Fred's deal's done. Roxbury's done. Obviously, the big 3 that we've been looking at. What kind of does that kind of lift some of the kind of strain off of you guys? Or I know it's early, but do you feel a difference that all 3 deals are taken care of this early?
Going through contract negotiations is always stressful, because you're having this conversation with your agent, who's then having a conversation with whoever in the building, from GM to the money guys, and it's stressful because you're trying to say what you're worth, and they're trying to say what you're worth, and those conversations get a little dicey sometimes, and egos might be stepped on or stuff like that, and it's very awesome that we have everything done, because now you're not thinking about that. All you're thinking about is playing football and getting better every single day. And so I'm a huge fan of getting all the things done early. I'm glad that they decided to do that. That's awesome for us, because now we have everybody in the building that's just focused on playing football and focusing on just getting a little bit better every single day. So I'm a huge fan of us getting them all done. It's good for football, because now all we're focused on is football.
What kind of difference have you noticed with an extra month in the offseason ending in early January as opposed to?
Missing the playoffs is absolutely terrible, and I don't suggest it for anybody. But if you do, you have to take advantage of that, extra month off. And I would say when you have the entire month of January off, and then you just sit there every Saturday and Sunday, you're watching other people play in the playoffs. I would say, for me personally, I always have an itch in the back of my neck. I think I've talked to you guys about it. It's just this itch of getting ready to play football again, being a mild anxiety of just wanting to be in your best shape, wanting to be your best self before you go into the season. And that just hits earlier, and which is awesome, because when you're playing a Super Bowl, you play in NFC Championship games, and you're playing, February, it's OTAs is a month and a half away, and you're just oh my gosh, I'm just not mentally ready to be back in the building and, go through it all again right now. When you're done in January, it's I cannot be more excited to be playing football again. And so just it kind of changes that mindset, in my opinion. That's just kind of how I view it. I just think everybody's just so eager to be back in the building, be back on the field, competing again. And I think that's just really good for this building, just kind of a mild refresh or a mild restart. And everyone's just so excited to be here. And you can see that too from all the vets that are here. Years past, I would say, 75% of the guys show up, and now we're at whatever it is, 99%. So I think that's good for us.
Your favorite part of when the SEALs come here?
My favorite part when the SEALs come here? Ooh. My favorite part is, I just like the stories. They do a great job. They do team building exercises. They talk about, what the Navy SEAL standard is and how they uphold it and how, they built that and how they wrote it. You learn a lot of cool stuff from them. But just in the work that I do with military, I got all the veterans and the military members that I work with, just like the stories that they tell are just like, I couldn't even imagine them. And it's like to hear the things that they actually went through and the things that they did is just absolutely crazy. And then to hear them say that, yeah, this is what we did. You know, we took up we had 20 guys in these little clear fishing boats that were supposed to hold like 200 pounds. We had 5 guys packed in them fully packed. We're going up a river in the middle of the day. And we somehow came back from that. I'm like, what? Like, are you kidding me? And so hearing these stories, just is awesome. And they're very good storytellers as well. So I'm a huge fan of that. And I'm a huge fan of when you have the entire team in here and you have guys speak up that you might not always hear from. Like when Christian McCaffrey says something to the entire team that resonates with anybody, with everybody. When we have a free agent safety who, you know, speaks up and, you know, shares from his experiences, and offensive lineman shares from his experiences, it kind of brings the team closer together because guys are speaking up. You're not just hearing, like me and Fred talk a lot. Like you guys hear our voices all the time. But it's really good for other guys on the team, like to have their voices heard because you want like leadership to come from everybody. And so that's one of the things that the SEALs facilitate.
So that at your last meeting when the season ended, that he made a point of saying he wanted everyone in the building.
He did.
For off-season activities. The fact that that happened, what does that say? And did you have to talk to anyone and say we need to be there, or was it organic?
I think it has to do with when, like I said, when your season ends and you're not making the playoffs, like your desire to be back in the building and like to get that taste out of your mouth, I think is expedited. So like guys want to be back for it. Like I said, like when you're playing in the middle of February, you kind of need like an extra month. And so that's why a lot of guys don't show up to like phase 2 or stuff like that. But there is an importance of phase 1, like the team building stuff. And so yeah, I mean, Kyle wanted us to be back. I think guys are going to be here regardless, just because they were ready to go back and play football.
Luke Farrell so far, you've been on the field with him just a couple days.
Let's see.
Y'all thought
one, he's a big dude.
Y'all thought I was bad with the soundboard. George Kittle is absolutely driving this camera person crazy. He goes all these different levels and angles during his pressers. And this is subtle stuff that I noticed. Just look at how they're trying to find him.
Luke Farrell so far, you've been on the field with him just a couple days.
Let's see. One, he's a big dude. I'm a huge fan of that. He's got great tape from what I've seen and what I have seen in the past. And he's just like eager to be here. He's excited to be here. I think we do a very good job in this building, let alone my tight end room, of like, I try to keep a very positive atmosphere as much as I can, you know, and you have to be critiqued and coached and all that stuff, which is totally fine. But I just want people to enjoy football, because when you're loving it and you're having so much fun, it's easy to want to go out there and practice. It's easy to go out there and grind. So, and he's shown all that. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited just to get to work with him too. It's fun. And like, he's an experienced guy too, who's played a lot of reps. So it's not like you're teaching a rookie, nothing against rookies, but they have a lot to learn and they don't know shit about shit. Excuse my language. I still don't, but I'm learning every single day. But yeah, no, Luke's doing a great job, and I'm really looking forward just to training camp with him. We're actually in pads, and we can actually run blocking with no pads on. Just doesn't make sense to me, but you know, we'll get through it.
6 months since we've seen Christian McCaffrey run out on the field. So, I mean, you've seen it for a few weeks now. How rejuvenating is it to see him back at full speed on the offense?
I mean, he's still really good at football, so that's exciting. I mean, 1 year removed from being Offensive Player of the Year, so still very good at football. Looks great. It's just happy. It's like I said, the most fun thing is like when everybody's back in the building and like you don't have the pressure of a game on Sunday. It's just really fun because you get to hang out with the guys afterwards, go see a movie, go golfing, go to the gun range, like whatever it is that you're doing. It's like you get to have those relationships build off the field, and when you have like all your best players around doing that, it just incites. Is that the word I'm looking for? It just encourages team building. That's what I'm trying to say. But having Christian out there is awesome, and he's still really, really good at running the football. 2 questions. That's crazy.
Journalist.
Go for it.
Okay. I thought you said a couple more. Is that what you're talking about?
No, just saying you get 2 questions. Some people haven't asked a question yet. It's crazy. No, I'm kidding. Go. I'm stalling now.
Any of the younger guys so far stood out to you, made an impression on you so far, or maybe in the locker room bugging you, trying to pick your brain and get to know a little bit more about what you can offer them to help them settle in here with the 49ers?
Well, first off, I'm just a huge fan of Connor, my Iowa offensive lineman, because I haven't had an Iowa teammate since C.J. Beathard. So I've been pretty lonely here for a while. I've just been overtaken by Nebraskans and Iowa State guys. So I'm very excited about that. He's been great. For some reason, rookies are occasionally like intimidated to ask me questions sometimes, and I feel like I'm a pretty approachable person. So that's disappointing. But, some guys will, ask me questions. I had a rookie today ask me, it was the heaviest I've ever been. And I was like, that's an interesting thing to ask me, but sure. 265 pounds. I do not weigh that much anymore. Goodness gracious. That sounds terrible. That was in college. No, but like, that's the important thing about being here for OTAs. Like, when you're not here, when you show up to training camp, all the rookies are new people to you. So we'll build those relationships out, and hopefully more guys are asking me questions throughout the next couple weeks.
Had Brock come out to Nashville. Look like you guys went to a Predators game. How important is that off-season bonding for a quarterback and a tight end? And I saw him wearing a Predators jersey.
Oh, yeah.
Is that your Predators jersey? Or
oh, no, we got him one. We got him one. Yeah, no. I got one for him and Jenna. They both say Purdy on the back. Oh, yeah, no, we're dialed in there. The Preds organization is fantastic. They take great care of us. It's anytime that you can spend time with like guys that you're going to be sharing the field with all the time, that's how you build great relationships. Like when you go through things on the field, that's how you strengthen that bond. And then when you do things for fun off the field, it makes the things on the field a little bit easier because you can rely on them, you can count on them, you've gone through stuff together. So I love hanging out with Brock. He's a great dude. His wife's fantastic. And so just having him around for a week was really fun for me.
The Dwight Clark legacy event, that your sense is Brock has been more vocal this offseason. I'm just curious what specifically has given you that impression.
Well, today he threw a route over the middle and JJ stopped running and he yelled at him for not running anymore. And so, hey, JJ, keep running. And so like just hearing that from him, like he has an expectation and a standard for us, how we run routes, and his expectations of in his drop, like where we're going to be in the timing of everything. And so just him expressing his frustrations and not just like, we'll get it next time. Like him saying that and then talking to Juwan about it for the next time. So the next time we go through that rep, hey, now we're all on the same page. And so like that type of vocal is awesome. We're in the team setting, like I was talking about, like when Christian talks, like when Brock talks, it's awesome. Like just being more vocal, and like it's very easy to kind of establish that during OTAs just because the whole team's here together without, that pressure of the season. So just getting that from him has been really good.
That was a phenomenal answer right there. That was a great answer by George Kittle. And speaking of answers, I want to go to a couple of questions that I saw pop up here really quick before we go to the next presser. And while I am waiting, I want you guys to let me know in the chat really quick. Do you guys want to hear from Kyle Shanahan or Deommodore Lenoir and Trent Williams first? I saw a couple of questions that I wanted to comment on really quick. So let me go ahead and get to these. All right. Bobo says here, hey, Mike, are you happy that we have more speed at wide receiver? I am actually. I hope that we could take advantage of it. I know some people worry about Brock's arm strength. I'm not overly concerned about it. And if we can get these guys involved in slant routes, that is great. I like that Kyle hasn't given up on the speed guys, right? We heard about the Gray thing and the Cowing and all that, and those guys never really got out there on the field, but they're still continuing to add them, which means it's an aspect that Kyle wants to implement into the game. So it gives me hope. I don't know if it's going to pan out. I don't know what the results are going to be, but it definitely makes me feel good that they are at least trying still to do that, okay? And then the other one here is from Anthony. He says, Renardo might be our best option on the boundary, but I've been hearing he's getting cooked in practice. What do you think? Well, I will say this, man. No one gets better by not getting worse, right? Once you hit a ceiling and you're figured out, like your defense, for example, people will continue to play to your weaknesses and play to your weaknesses and play to your weaknesses. You then have to learn how to counter what they're about to throw at you. So that's why I was like really upset about that comment that Fred Warner said. I don't know what the answer is going to be on the boundary. I have no idea, Anthony. But I do like hearing that in practice he's getting cooked. I'd rather be here than on film. and in week 1 or week 2 or week 17 or week 18 or in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? This is the time to do it. And so a lot of people are going to be down on them and trash talking them and all, and they shouldn't be. That should be the furthest thing from their minds. It should be that we are that we're seeing room for improvement, right? And think about it. If he goes out there and he's getting cooked and cooked and cooked, and that's all we're hearing about, and then come week 1, he's the starter, what does that say? That means that has to mean that he improved, right? The Niners aren't going to intentionally put a liability out on the field. Not this brand of Niners football, not this version, not this hungry-ass team. They're not just going to put him out there. And so I prefer to hear it now. Definitely prefer to hear it now, you know? All right. Sorry. And then there was another comment that I saw earlier. I don't know if Mizell is still here. Where is he at? He says, my notifications no longer work, and I have done all things to fix it. You're going to be the first person I say this to. Unsubscribe from the channel. Unsubscribe, and then resubscribe, and then turn on your notifications. So turn off your notifications, unsubscribe, then resubscribe, and then turn on the notifications again. See if that works, all right? Hopefully that does something for the algorithm here, okay? Steven is the only person that has an opinion, so Steven, looks like you're going to do it, man. I'll do it, man. I'll do it, man. All right, we'll hear from Kyle next. Bobo says, do you think we need to sign another edge rusher? I don't know, man. They just made that trade for Huff, so we have to see how that plays out. I'm not 100% certain. You know, we invested a lot in that defensive line in the draft. They've gone out and traded for somebody that they feel can have success in this system with Robert Saleh here. So if they go out and get somebody else, that's great. That's cool. But you also don't want it to be overkill, right? You don't want these guys to not get better due to lack of reps, like live reps, real reps. So you don't want to throw too many pieces there because then no one actually gets to become good. You need a healthy rotation, and we have the right number of players at the position now. We just have to see if they can produce and if that rotation can stay healthy. All right. All right. Let's hear from Kyle. All right. I'll bring Kyle up to the stage. And let's do it. What do you guys think the first question for Kyle is going to be? What do you think about Brock Purdy? How do your wide receivers look? Oh, well, who knows? All right, let's see. Here we go.
The offense was a little struggling out there today. I mean, I know it's a mini camp, but what did you feel about the offensive performance?
I thought it was good. I didn't get that same feeling, but I thought it was good practice, and thought all 3 phases did a solid job.
As far as training camp and who's going to be still recovering.
I'm actually going to stop right there. I'm going to stop right there. If the offense came out and looked really good all the time, then something's wrong with Saleh and his defense. So I am all about hearing about the offensive struggles. That's what I want to hear. When you couple that with George Kittle saying that Brock threw a pass to Juwan Jennings and Jennings stopped running on the route, right? That's going to go down if the press is watching, right? It's going to go down as a bad play, a negative play for the offense, right? But if everything went right and Juwan was the only one that didn't run the right route, then it's a negative that it easily becomes a positive. That's what this time of the year is for. That's what I want to see. So I like that. And so this is what I want to hear from these guys. All right. I like hearing that.
Training camp and who's going to be still recovering when training camp begins. Is it Mustafa, Ayuk, Rourke, and Curtis Robinson as the ones who are unlikely to begin? Anyone else on that list?
Sounds close. I definitely didn't ask about the first day of training camp today. So I'm not sure, but that's a pretty good guess. Those all sound accurate.
That was a long way of me asking if any of the absentees for these camps might spill into late July.
Some could. Those like the ones you mentioned. I don't know all the others, but we'll do that evaluation first day we get back from training camp. I think most of these guys are good. Just to help you guys with that, let me see my injuries. All right. Jair Brown had ankle cleanup surgery. We're expecting back by training camp. Ricky Purcell had a hamstring, nothing serious. He's is really pretty good now. We're just being safe, so he'll be good by training camp. Alfred Collins, his calf, that happened before the draft. Pretty good now, being smart with him. He should be good by training camp. Andre Dillard had his ankle scoped. He'll be good by training camp. Juwan Jennings, calf, nothing serious, training camp. George Odom, his knee, just still rehabbing from the season. He should be good from training camp. Yetur, just some old knee wear and tear. We're just being smart with him. He'll be fine by training camp. Trent Taylor had his back. He went on IR, so he won't. Michael Williams, just a tight hamstring. We're just being smart. Probably could go this week, but we'll just hold him for training camp. Ayuk, Mustafa, Curtis, still dealing with their ACLs. Sure. Only 1 minute left. No.
Wow. Trent Taylor went on IR already, so he won't be playing with the Niners. I don't think there were any surprises from anything that he said there. Those last 3 guys, ACLs, probably won't be available for the end of training camp. Everybody else should be back. Really, really good report from Kyle right there.
Brandon Ayuk was out there for the first release that I saw so far since you guys have been back. Just interested to know, like, what have conversations been like between you and Brandon? How's he feeling after coming back from the ACL surgery as he is making his way back?
He's making his way back.
Kyle and Brandon Ayuk have the same hair and mustache right now. Did you guys see the mugshot, the team photo for Brandon Ayuk? See, Kyle's hiding the crazy hair underneath the hat, but he's got that stash and he's got the hair going crazy. Brandon Ayuk was honoring Kyle Shanahan. That's what it was. I figured it out.
Back, he's still in the middle of it, so he's working through that. You know, he's been around, he's been rehabbing for the most part, but he's been out to some practices, and it was good to have him out today.
Trent Williams looked in the limited time he's been out here, but and just how, I guess, vital is it to manage his workload so he can make it through a season healthy?
I think it's vital, just the same as it always is. You know, when you get injuries, you get injuries, but with guys with age and the wear and tear and stuff, we just try to keep their legs fresher and stuff. And it's been good to get them here in 2 weeks of individual drills and things like that. And be shocked if we put him out there tomorrow. I don't expect to see him, except for maybe individual, and he'll be good to go for camp.
Lighter, Kyle? He looks lighter, maybe. Trent.
I haven't checked him out as hard as you have, but what do you mean by that? I think he looks good, though. You know, he looks in shape, and he's been in shape in his drills. He's gone through them all, and he's healthy and right where he needs to be.
You like big picture talks with Trent, like how much longer do you want to play? Do you need to know that just the way you build your roster?
No, I don't think I need to know that, or we need to know that right now. The stuff I talk to Trent about, not all the time, but every once in a while. But you take everything year by year.
What do you think about Bryce Huff, and what does he add to the defense?
I just like Bryce. I think he affects the quarterback. When you talk about just getting off the ball and how fast he does it, he'll be our best get off the ball guy we've had since Steve Ford. So in terms of that, it's good to beat tackles that way, but also widens tackles to help with the inside pass rush and things like that. And he affects the quarterback.
Last year of Jake Moody, he's got the new sort of like wind up where he sort of torques his leg. What's your impression of that?
The field goal's been going between the 2 uprights. I've liked it so far. Been good.
He had a more challenging season last year, but Chris Cassera talked about he still thought he had some good film out there. What did you see from him last year, and why was it so challenging for him?
I don't think he didn't play that much. I think he sat for a number of games, and I just think that's. The player didn't change. He didn't fit as well in their scheme, and just what they do schematically and stuff. I think they wanted to go a different direction with stuff. They're outside guys dropping into coverage and things like that, being the 3-4 base, and that's something we really never do. So it's a little bit different. But as far as just watching him on tape and stuff, he always kind of looked the same. I just don't think the opportunities were there for him.
When it comes to Robert Saleh, there was a play out there where Robert got all out in the middle of everything, excited for his guys, so they made a play. Do you see a difference in, I will say, the aura of the defense with Robert Saleh back out there with the guys?
I think the guys, it's only I'm guessing like 3 guys, maybe 4, who were here when he was here last. And so I think those guys have a lot of confidence in him and remember his time here, and they probably express that confidence they have in him to the other guys. But yeah, our energy has been great throughout the whole team, through the defense, definitely. It's always been great too.
From Jacob Cowing and how he's come back from these practices.
I think Jacob. I thought put in some of the most work that anyone did over the offseason. Just, as far as doing it before phase 1 started and then continuing it through 1, 2, and 3. And I think it's really transferred over into those OTA practices.
Jordan Watkins doing well for a rookie?
Yeah, I think Jordan's doing solid. He's had some good days, some bad, but normal.
Is this the most speed you've had with your weapons, and are you excited about what that potentially could lead to this year?
No, I don't think it is, but I'm excited about our weapons.
You, the Niners,
Just when
reported
you talk about 40 times and stuff, there's been some groups that have been maybe faster, but it doesn't equate to better.
you guys reportedly had a visit.
I can't let it slide. I can't let it slide. That question bothered Kyle, and he had to. I love this guy. I love this guy. That question bothered Kyle. Not in a bad way. It didn't bother him in a bad way. It was how he was going to answer it, right? Like, he answered and thought about it and answered some more, affirming what he said in the first answer. It wasn't a change of direction when he came back. So the question is, like, you got a lot of faster players out there. Does that excite you? Whatever type of thing. Like, I'll let you hear it. Listen.
You've had with your weapons, and are you
Normal.
Is this the most speed you've had with your weapons, and are you excited about what that potentially could lead to this year?
No, I don't think it is, but I'm excited about our weapons.
Okay. Is this the most speed you've had? No. No, it's not. But I'm excited about the weapons. That's a cool answer, right? Now, take a look around to all the guys that think they're fast. Kyle saying, damn, we're not the fastest guys. Like, I guess we're not that good. I mean, he said he's still excited about us, but okay, let me work on something else. And then Kyle comes back with the correction.
You, the Niners,
Just when you
reported
talk about 40 times and stuff, there's been some groups that have been maybe faster, but it doesn't equate to better.
There you go. Huh? Now, who was he talking about here? Huh? Is it the wide receivers? I just talked about Danny Gray in that fast 40 time, and right, this is the same guy that had Marquise Goodwin over here, right? Like, these guys in their 40 times, we're talking Olympic speed, right? Raheem Mostert. Those guys were fast. They were fast as hell. But raise your hand if you're taking Marquise Goodwin over Brandon Ayuk. Raise your hand if you're taking Marquise Goodwin over Jawan Jennings. Raise your hand if you're taking Raheem Mostert over Christian McCaffrey. Kyle, I got your back, bro. I got your back. I got your back right now. We're going to talk about this defense thing later, but I got your back right now. All right.
You guys reportedly had a visit with Gabe Davis. Is that indication that you could have interest in a veteran wide receiver at some point down the road? Or are you at least monitoring the market?
I think it's how we handle every situation. We monitor everything. So
you were in the best shape of your life until
these damn commercials. Oh, I hate them. I hate them. And this guy looks scary as shit. Dark ass eyes. Oh, no. Mad light and dark eyes. That's terrifying.
how we handle every situation. We monitor everything. So I think Gabe's visited a few teams. He's a guy we've been a fan of in the past, and he wanted to visit a few teams and talk to them about mutual interest, and we had a good visit. But that's stuff we really never stopped doing.
Gus Bradley bring to the mix?
Gus, I have as much respect for as any coach. Been around, going against him a ton, how good he's been, and I just feel very fortunate to get him here. Salah's been with him for a long time. They have different personalities, but they're from very similar backgrounds, so I think it's really cool for Salah to have him to bounce ideas off of and kind of to challenge him in certain ways. And Gus also brings a certain wisdom, just as far as teaching, how he communicates with people. He's always trying to help guys out around the building, and I think he's been one of our huge additions this offseason.
Appeal for you for bringing in coaches whose fathers also had football backgrounds. Think about you and the Kubiaks, and Greasy was here, and now Mick Lombardi, who's, he used to race dance to the phone, and here Al Davis on the other end of the line, and guys that have been football guys probably since their dads were at practice. Is there something to that?
Yeah, I think I haven't been in other line of works, but and I kind of find that people who've grown up around a certain profession have kind of been paying attention to it since they can remember, 3 years old. It's not absolute by any means in any situation, but I do feel I feel those guys sometimes have an 18-year head start over other people, whether they realize it or not. Like, I always wanted to be a player my whole life. Didn't admit to myself that I wanted to be a coach till probably college, once I started learning that I wasn't a good enough player. But you don't realize till you get into coaching how much you've been working on it. I mean, I just think of like every dinner I've had growing up, and just sitting with my mom and my sister and my dad, and always halfway through probably every meal I've had since 5th grade. My sister and mom are eventually annoyed with my free agent questions, my draft questions, 40 questions, like all types of stuff like that. And I think people are like that always, not always, but a lot with their dad. And if you're like that, whatever line of work you go into, you have a little bit of a head start, and that gives you an advantage, but you got to take advantage of that too.
Great question, great answer, because a lot of us have been wondering, like, why all these, what do they call them? Oh God, like there's a phrase, they call it a blank hire, like a descendant hire. Somebody out there help me. You guys know the word I'm looking for. It's right on the tip of my tongue. What was the LeBron James and his son? It was a blank pick. It was a blank hire. There's a word I'm looking for. But anyway, nepotism. Yeah, look at Terra Dome, man. Terra Dome, get the party on, baby. Let's go. Nepotism. Yes, right? It's a nepotism hire, right? And that's exactly, like, I like hearing Kyle express it. These guys got an 18-year head start, right? Like, my siblings and mom were probably sick of my line of questioning since I was, did he say in 5th grade? Right? Like, that's crazy, right? But he's hoping to get guys as impassioned about the game as he is. That right there. Okay, Kyle. Okay, Kyle. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you.
Another Trent question, if you could. You mentioned it's a younger team, a lot of different people on it. How important is he? An older guy, obviously, who's got all pros and all the things he's got. Just his presence, his vibe. How important is he now, even with a younger team?
I think it's big. I mean, I think sometimes that stuff can be underrated and also overrated. But like, I mean, everyone knows who Trent is. Just the career he's had, being one of the best tackles to play the game. So when you are a name that people have grown up watching, they want to see how you are in the building. I think it's always different when you're a 36-year-old and the position he plays, and he's not someone that you're going to ever recommend a 22-year-old or something that act exactly that same way and go through that same path. Trent's in a different time in his career than everyone else. But I love Trent being around so people can see how much he does care about football, how much he does work at football. You know that by how he plays. But it's cool at his age and where he's at in his career for people to still see what he has to do to get ready. He has to do it for himself more than anything. But anytime you have the kind of credibility that someone like Trent has earned, anytime someone gets to watch him do that and watch what he puts into it will always help other people.
When did your dad start listening to your suggestions?
He pretended he always did, at least most of the dinner, until I would disagree with him, and eventually I'd get annoying, which is happening with me and my son every night right now, and my daughters too, and my wife. But I probably more when I got in college. There's a couple things that came up, and you start to realize there's some different perspectives, and people look at it all the time, and I think he would actually enjoy it and call you a week later and be like, hey, what? You were so adamant about all 30 of those things. Actually, one of them you were right on, so maybe I should listen a little more sometimes.
When Mac Jones was in here last week, he was talking about having to relearn to trust what he sees and cut it loose. When you have a guy like that who had some early success and then didn't have success and has to kind of regain confidence, how do you kind of go about rebuilding that with a guy like him?
I'm trying to get him to trust what they do and let it rip. That's all I want in practice. Like, you go through all these practices and you never throw a pick, you're probably not getting better. I think that's one of the biggest challenges having you guys around. No offense to you guys, but they used not to report people's stats every day and say who's ahead, who's back, who's whatever. You could just practice. And when guys play to practice that way, they don't get better at anything. So, and especially a quarterback. I mean, it's hard when you get in that stadium and things like that. Not only are you getting hit for the first time, but now all that stuff counts. And if you don't let it rip and go through all that in practice, you're not going to get any better in the games. And then it's usually a matter of time before someone passes you up.
Love that time between now and camp for both your players and coaches. What have you said to them about how you want them to spend that time?
I mean, the biggest part is the work we put in already. Like the work we put in since April, whatever, since phase one. I've been extremely proud of the guys and what they've done. You put all that work in, and now we got these 2 practices left, and now it's 1 really. And I mean, I almost want to cancel the whole week. But there's 20 guys out there who still really need this week, and then there's 60 guys who kind of, they're just trying to get through this and let's not get them injured. And that's kind of our biggest goal with everything. Everyone's put in the work. There's some younger guys who still need more reps, but it's knowing what you've done. Now get away from us for about 40 days. Some guys can stay here. We have the weight room open. We have all that stuff. But get away, assess what's gone on, work to improve that stuff. So when you come back to really compete in training camp, you've put in the work, and now you found a way to take a step forward. Like, I always remember, you go back to spring football or anything, and it doesn't matter whether it's good or bad. You put in all that work, and then you need a certain amount of time to get away so you can find a way to get an edge on people you're competing against, and that's that time for these guys.
John Lynch talked about Christian McCaffrey and just how impressed he's been with him. Obviously, Christian's such a consistent guy in his approach and everything, but is there anything that maybe has stood out to you that you've seen from Christian so far?
If I said it, I'd be making it up, because Christian is, he is a psycho in a good way. And so, he does everything imaginable every single day. Last year, he couldn't because he was battling injury all last year. And this year, he's healthy. So he's right back to being who he's always been. And it's really fun to watch.
Psycho Christian back in the building. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Okay. Whew. Man, I really enjoy this, man. This stuff makes my day. Y'all have no idea. We got 1 more to go through, and I'm not going to beat around the bush. We're going to jump right into it. This is Diamador Lenore and Trent Williams, not in that order. All right. So let's go ahead and get to it. Here we go. Engine number 9.
How are you feeling? How's the heel of foot situation?
Oh, it's good. It's good. Yeah, it's in the past, so I got past that one.
Did it carry into the offseason at all? Is there a time when you felt better?
I'm not super late to the offseason. Probably February.
I think every time we probably see you going into camp and stuff, there's questions about how long you want to keep playing. Yeah. But how much did you think about that in this offseason?
Think about how long I wanted to play? I didn't give it a lot of thought, honestly. I just feel like, I do myself and my teammates a disservice if I'm looking towards the end and, I'm paid. People count on me to be here now and to, we got goals and aspirations as a team. I just don't think putting brain power towards that helps us get to where we want to go. So, when it happens, it happens. I feel like I know. I think one day coming in, I should know when it's getting that time, and then I do the responsible thing and let them know early enough so that they can make the adjustments needed.
I love it. I love it. No, shut up. I love it. I love it, man. Stop asking my man if I'm retiring, bro. I'm here to play. Me thinking about retirement is not going to help us accomplish our team goals. I'm here for the smoke, baby. That's what I'm talking about, Trent. Hype me up, man. Let's go.
They can make the adjustments.
Let's go,
needed.
man.
First time talking to you, obviously, since you guys have been back. Question when it comes to this being a longer off season than you guys have been used to having in the last few years. What were the pros and cons for that from you, being that you had to deal with some stuff last year, as injury, family stuff, but then able to have that time to come back? What was it for you, especially now that you're back out there with the team?
Yeah, I think it was much needed. I mean, it's 2 extremes, right? You go from having the shortest off season to having the longest offseason that you can be allowed as an NFL team. So, one thing it was very difficult to come back after, what was kind of, I think a lot of people, one of the most traumatic events you experience in sports, just losing the Super Bowl and the depression that comes behind that. And then, only having a little bit of time before it's right back to, OTAs and some workouts and trying to put something behind you that's it took me a long time. Like even on into the last season, even playing the Chiefs again, I felt that it hurt, So
yeah, they whooped your ass both
I think
times.
I say that to say,
I know you felt that.
I
hurt.
think this off season it could have been a blessing in disguise. We'll see. We obviously refreshed the roster, and we got some younger guys, but I think in the long run it should help us having that time off.
The energy and the attitude on the field, how does that feel right now?
I mean, you wouldn't think this is a team that went 6-11 last year. The confidence, the way the kids are flying around, the new draft class to me looks like it has several steals, several great picks that's going to contribute. So, I was really pleased to see how the confidence and how the atmosphere is coming back and kind of being around the guys for the first time last week, 2 weeks ago.
Excuse me. Trey, defensive ends, and what is the Huff addition? What's he going to bring to this team?
He's going to bring that speed demon off the edge, that guy that's going to require a running back or a chip opposite of Nick. And guys just, we're having the additions that we do, especially with Michael, who can go both inside and outside. When you get and Yetur, like getting all those guys on the field, I think he adds that the kind of that D Ford effect that they had in 19 that took them, to the Super Bowl. And one of the reasons we had a really, really good defense for those couple years is having that guy who can actually make that quarterback step up by getting a good jump off the ball and being able to bend the edge.
Fresh. You watched Debo, friend of yours, obviously move on. Dre obviously meant a lot to this team. Was it tough to see a lot of those guys go?
It's always tough, but it's my 16th year, so I understand how the business go. It's one of those things where
tell the truth.
Those guys are family, so you want to see the best thing happen to them that puts them in the best situation. So I think all of those guys, really happy for them.
There you go.
I think that they're really blessed to. Like Banks get compensated, like Jalen Moore getting compensated.
Come on, tell the truth. There you go.
It's a blessing. That don't come often in this league. I think Debo found a home that he is going to flourish in. I think that's a good fit for him. It sucks to not have those guys on the daily in the locker room, and it was such a big pivotal part to our success. But it's the nature of the league. And when you got to pay some guys a fortune, some guys gotta go. That's just unfortunately the way.
The truth of the matter is this. I am not a fan. I'm talking about Trent. I'm not a fan. I'm talking as Trent. This is a business. Am I going to miss these guys in the locker room? Yeah, sure. Am I going to miss the camaraderie? Absolutely. But they're not dead. They all left to bigger and better as far as finances go. You hear me? These guys didn't die. They still a phone call away. Y'all think that we go and leave the game and go home together? No. We go our separate ways. It's okay. It's okay. None of that shit. Was it hard? Was it tough? Is it rough? No. I'm going to miss them talking, the jokes, but I can still make those jokes with them on the phone. I can still catch up with my guys. These guys did not pass away. As a fan, You'd be like, oh, man, here we go, man. We lost this player. We lost that player. We lost this player. That's different as a fan because you hyper-focus on this organization. None of those guys' careers ended. None of them. Most of them got paid significantly more money. Why would that be tough for somebody you care about? Why would that be tough? If I care about you and your goal is money, or your goal is I want to be the Mike, and you get what you're looking for, why would I be upset about that? Makes no sense to me. Makes no sense at all.
Don't have any guaranteed money after this season, I believe. Correct. Have you had talks about that? Does that concern you at all?
No, it don't concern me. Like I said, I'm taking everything 1 year at a time, and I feel like if my play warrants.
Hold up. Hold the hell up. Who is this guy? Did he ask, are we camp? Hold on. Let me show him how we get down, y'all. Hold on. Oh, Lord. Did this man come into my chat and ask if we are Karens? Is that what he just did? Bruh. Can you see this? Can you see this? You see this can of spray right here? Can you see this can of spray? We don't play that Karen shit here, bro. Can you see that? Huh? Get Mace, bro. What you talking about? Soft-ass Raider fans. Don't do that to us. We don't play them games. All right? Now, back to your regular scheduled program. I'm sorry, y'all.
More guaranteed or a new deal. I mean, a new year or two on a deal or whatever. Then I'm here for it. If not, then be time to sell on to the sunset. But I understand what's going on, but I'm at the point where, I'm not looking. I'm just going day by day, and whatever happens is gonna happen.
One of the guys that got the fortune was Brock Purdy. So what are your thoughts on him getting that deal done? Any different impressions of Brock now that he's in your tax bracket almost?
Man, trust me, he one of the richest people I've met in person. So, yeah. But no, for me, it's super, super fulfilling just to watch a guy like Brock. And I mean, you talk about a Cinderella story, I think this is the epitome of that. Guy from making, a few $100,000 a year to making $50 million a year it's astronomical. And it couldn't have happened to a better guy. He is the guy for this team. He is the guy for this franchise. This is just the tip of the iceberg. He's going to get another contract. He's going to win a lot of football games. He's that good of a player. So super, super happy to see that happen for him. I love him like a brother, so I couldn't be any happier.
Sometimes invite younger offensive linemen to work out with you in this summer period. Any plans like this coming up late June, July?
Yeah, well, my door is always open. Had even guys like Spence. Spence he's been with me basically for the most part this whole summer. So
Trent trying to be funny. That's not what he
asked.
asked
The
you,
door is always
Trent.
open. Of
Trent,
course,
that ain't what he asked you.
Put it out there, but. Yeah, to answer your question, I do have a few people working out with me that play on the team, not on the team, but my door is always open. I'm always looking to help.
There we go.
Push this O-line, the game of the offensive line play forward, whether they play for the 49ers or not.
What's your first impression of Mykel Williams as a player and as a person?
As a player, obviously, he's a mountain of a man. He's a statue. To be that size, have that frame, and to be that quick and that fluid in short areas. I think he's a guy that can play first, second down, stop the run, and they could play third down wherever you want him to play. He can play on the inside, he can play on the outside. I think he just has that genetic makeup to be a superstar as a defensive lineman. Now, I mean, obviously, you know, it got to happen on Sunday, and I think he's well capable of that. But from my first impressions, that's what it puts me in the mind of. I think he's going to be a very, very talented defensive lineman. I think he's going to make his name in this NFL. That's what I see right now.
You mentioned some of the young guys flying around. Does the infusion of youth add a little inspiration or energy for some of the more mature players on the
For
team?
the older guys like myself, yeah. No, it really does. I mean, it energizes you to see that raw enthusiasm that, you know, you got a guy like me in the 16th year, and then you got a guy that's just now kind of on the cusp of living his dreams, and you know, and it does make me appreciate it more. It does make me appreciate coming to work, because I do remember when that was my reality, when my first OTAs, the second OTAs, and I'm like, I'm living a dream. And to watch those guys live a dream and
God, I felt it coming. I felt it coming. And I hate this guy's face that's on right now. I ain't gonna tell y'all who he is, but oh God.
second OTAs, and I'm like, I'm living a dream. And to watch those guys live a dream and to watch them take full advantage of it and go 100 miles an hour, you know, every snap, it's fulfilling, and it makes you want to pick up your level of enthusiasm as well.
To kind of parse your words, but when you say year to year at this stage, I mean, is that any different? You've talked about, you know, it'd be nice to play till 40 and join that exclusive
Now we
group.
back to the retirement
I mean,
question after he
are you at a
answered
point where like,
perfectly.
yeah, no, that's not happening, or?
No, I'm definitely not. Like I said, I mean, I would love to play until I'm 40. I would love to make it into that special group. But if it's not in my cards, it's not in my cards. But I'm gonna do everything physically possible. I'm gonna stay engaged. As you see, my first time here doing OTAs or even being in the off-season program, first time in probably 10 years. So, you know, it's one of them things to where I'm gonna do everything possible to play as long and to play a good product, put a good product of football out there. And then when it's not going my way, then I'll know. But it could be, I could play until I'm 41. You know, who knows?
There you go.
But that is a goal of mine. I'm definitely not going to retire with something left in the tank.
Came back for,
difficulty of bouncing back after the Super Bowl. Curious about the bounce back after last year, where besides all the injuries on the team, which every team has, some worse than others, there were other things that went on that just made it such a rough year between Pearsall and Charvarius, and you had your own tragedy that it was away from the field. How did you process all that the whole year and getting through it, and where did your enthusiasm come from to come back?
That's a good question. It is difficult. It's very difficult. But, you know, my road I've traveled has always been difficult. So it's one of those things to where, you know, it's where your faith has to get you through, because there's a lot of things that happen that humanly you don't have the answer for and you can't make sense of. So I think a lot of it is your faith. And second, you know, it's just to having the composure to know that life will throw you curveballs, and, you know, no matter how hard things get for me or how hard things get for anybody else, you can find a situation where it's worse. So, you know, every day, thank God for being able to have air in my lungs. I know that that's not promised, and I just keep moving forward, knowing that, you know, what's in the review is in the review. You know, it may shape who you are going forward, but I don't think you should let it linger and let it affect who you are going forward.
like, experiencing OTA practices again, how much regret did you have of all those 10 years where you missed OTA?
Man, filled with regret, you understand? No, I'm joking. I'm actually thankful that, you know, if I was here 10 years, I probably wouldn't be here year 16. So, yeah, I'm thankful for it. All right, y'all.
Wow. Okay,
New guys
OTAs
on
aren't for the weak. Oh,
defense.
my boy
You're one of
Debo.
the veterans now. What's that like, just kind of feeling that mixture, that chemistry? How's that been different this offseason?
It kind of make me feel old, just being a veteran guy, just feeling like I came in yesterday, and just being able to be, one of the leaders on the team, being able to push a young guy, and just make sure that they feed in the right place.
What's your early impressions of Bryce Huff, and how do you see him getting acclimated to the defense?
I know he's going to be a guy for us. I'm familiar with his work, with him being with the Eagles and the Jets. I know he's going to be a player for us. So it was a great addition, to have him come over here and just, help out on the defense.
What have you seen with Bernardo in year 2 versus year 1 for him?
Really the confidence. It's always, you always got eyes on you from that year 1 to year 2 jump. So with him, I think, he's built the confidence, to where he can guard anyone.
When it comes to the defense, it seems like it has seemed since y'all have been out there that the energy is just great all together. But then to see Robert Saleh kind of get out there in the middle when y'all make a play, cheering, screaming, would you credit the energy level in OTAs or beyond to Robert Saleh being back, to the youth on the defensive side of the ball, a combination of all things, y'all being excited to be back now that y'all had a longer off season? What would you credit it to?
I would say it's a combination of both, kind of the coaches and the players, with them believing in us. When the players come and we make the plays and they cheering for us, the feeling is second to none, because, you feel like you accomplished something that, the coach has been teaching us for a month. So just being able to have Saleh on the field and, his energy, is second to none.
You guys obviously had a lot of departures on defense in the offseason, particularly in the secondary. When you look back, were you happy? Does it make it more rewarding for you to get that deal done last year, knowing that, you didn't have to kind of deal with some of the questions and things that took place in the offseason?
Oh, yeah. I was happy that.
She is ruining this interview for me now. That's it. I can't unsee it. All right. What group? PG. Oh my God. I can't see it now. Oh my God. From Old Edition. All right, no, let me stop. I'm going on mute.
That a deal was done, because I want to be here for the rest of my life. So just being able to get that done and just being, to be solidified and here knowing that I'm going to be here for another 5 years, it's the best feeling in the world.
When those guys all leave, what you were just talking about a minute ago with the added leadership, those guys all leave, did that feel like part of the deal? Like you knew once you signed that was probably going to have to be part of your future here?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I never wanted to think like that, because the relationships I built with those guys is, I wouldn't trade it in for nothing. But just being able, to be here and to be locked in here, I feel like this was the best decision for me.
You obviously drafted Upton at nickel. How do you view your role this year? Do you expect to still bump inside, or do you think you'll stay mostly on the outside?
I'm kind of more wherever the coaches need me, that's where I'll play. But if right now I've been predominantly outside, so I'm just trying to excel at that and be number one at that position.
You miss it if you didn't play nickel this year?
That's kind of tough, because that spot is vital to the defense. Playing next to Fred, hearing all the communication, you in the action. Corner is just kind of different. You just playing on the outside. You're not really in the run game. You're not really. You're involved, but you're not really involved how the nickel is. So it's gonna be different for me.
Demo, you added a lot of speed at receiver. What do you think of year 2 of Cowing, and what do you think of Watkins so far?
Oh, yeah, they're going to be guys for us. I'm very excited about those two. The way they've been showing up in OTAs, catching the ball, running, they're full of speed. I just love to have those guys on the team. You know, I know they're gonna come in and work every day.
In the leadership, have you been more vocal this last few weeks, months or so?
Yeah, I feel like I've been very vocal this year. You know, as far as like just comparing it to last year and the years before that, I wouldn't really say nothing. But now I'm like more breaking down the team. You know, kind of helping guys out and you know just saying stuff when it needs to be said.
Is that a comfortable place for you?
Oh yeah, very comfortable. You know, I'm you know a vocal person. I talk to the team, talk to my group, and just make sure you know that we one accord.
You know, just a few years ago, you were a rookie here, and I remember you talking about being lost when you were in your first couple days around the facility.
Yeah.
When you look at the rookies now, how do you compare how they act compared to, like, when you look back at that?
Well, just looking at Upton, I feel like, you know, he's way more advanced than where I was when I first got in. You know, just playing the nickel spot, you know, everything just kind of like slowed down for him. And I feel like all the plays that he's making, you know, it shows that he's, you know, slowing the game is slowing down for him. And I feel like that's a spot where, you know, that's very vital and that he's going to excel at.
Like the rookies, the maturity level is different now at this point. Maybe who knows whether it's because they stayed in college longer or NIL, but
Yeah, I believe that the maturity level, I probably, you know, because me and Embry, we came in together. We was both like 20 years old, so we was kind of young, you know, coming in. So I feel like, yeah, the maturity level is definitely different.
A couple more. What are your impressions of Trey Brown?
Oh, Trey Brown, very funny. That's my guy. I've been knowing him for a long time. We done went to the Under Armour game together, playing the speed challenge. We didn't been around each other a lot, so we kind of familiar with each other. So he's gonna be a great addition for us. You know, just the cornerback depth. You know, he gonna come in. He came in, made some plays. He's been making plays, and I'm excited for him.
As one of the quote-unquote veterans and someone who's been to this the past couple of years, what would you say is the most important part of now until camp, this break?
Really just tuning up your skills, I would say. You know, I feel like it's really about this next 40 days is really about, you know, excelling at your position and just being, you know, very real attentive and locking in on the details.
It takes time sometimes for young DBs to kind of make it. Darrell Luter's got a lot of talent. What do you see with Luter? It's a big summer for him.
Oh yeah, I feel like this is gonna be one of his breakout years too. Also, you know, he's a tall, long corner. You know, I was very excited when we drafted him 2 years ago. I know he's gonna be a player for us this year, and I'm expecting great things from him. Thank you.
All right. Shout out to Demo, man. I appreciate him. That was fun. PG, I got to go back and listen to the whole last half of what my man said because I can't stop laughing, man. Why didn't they ask him what receivers he was most looking forward to playing against this season? You know, like what opponents, like that's been his bag on social media the whole time, right? Like let him have a little bit of fun here, you know? But it is what it is, man. Look, I hope y'all enjoyed. I was aiming for the hour and a half mark. We got there. You know, shout out to the chat. Y'all are incredible. I love each and every one of y'all, man. I sincerely appreciate y'all. And I left this little box up here in the corner of the screen to show the chat because I know a lot of times the live chat doesn't always come through. So I don't know if this is going to show up there on the replay, but for those you guys deserve to see and experience the live chat on these shows, man. Like this is a one of a kind thing. Well, you know, this chat, the breezy chat, I mean, this is great when they all get along with each other, man. I absolutely love it when we all get along. It is great. Faithful, man, I love y'all. I hope y'all have a great night. All right, prayers up. I know you know, Big Mama Breezy, rest in peace, but Wayne is doing good. I spoke to him today. We did a show today, and we got something planned for y'all tomorrow as well. All right, but keep each other uplifted, guys. Not just Wayne, his family, but everybody. Keep this nation uplifted right now. It is a lot of crazy stuff happening in this world, man. Hug your loved ones. Let them know you care for them. Let them know you love them. Send that text message or something like that. If you don't want to call somebody, you know, sometimes it's awkward just to call and say, hey, just want to let you know I love you. It's like the dudes calling each other saying goodnight, right? It's a little weird, right? One of my really funny trend going around right now. But, you know, show some concern, show some care, show some love. All right? And we'll talk to y'all soon. All right? I'm getting up out of here. Prepare for glory, anticipate pain, but always remain faithful. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.
We all gas, no brakes, pumped up, no fakes. We spinning, we winning, we high stakes. We never miss, we all makes. Look at us dudes trying to prove, bringing you news with nothing to lose. Mike, Nick, Tony, Wayne, Method Man, we bring the pain. Hey, see, I'ma confess it. We under the pressure. If you looking to find us, we them nothing but Niners. We nothing but Niners. We nothing but Niners. We nothing but we them nothing but Niners.